Hey San Antonio, this is Rob for the MetalWorks. Tonight, I am in the Valley in McAllen, Texas to cover a Swedish band that I know many of you guys out there have heard about. I want to welcome the guys in MESHUGGAH to Texas. Welcome to Rob's MetalWorks as well.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
It's good to have you guys here. There's a lot of people who've heard of the name MESHUGGAH. But why don't we get started introducing who you are and what you do in the band?
I'm Jens Kidman. I'm the singer in the band.
I'm Thomas, the drummer boy.
You guys are from Sweden, like we said earlier. Tell us a little bit about how this band came together and formed, and now you guys are here touring the States.
We've been together about 10 years. Not all these guys, but the band has been together since we released the first mini LP back in '89 with another drummer, and then we got a contract with Nuclear Blast in '90. Thomas started playing with us, and then in '93 I decided to drop the guitar and start just concentrate on the singing, and a friend of Thomas started playing the guitar with us, Martin. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Then we've been playing, touring in Europe and releasing some records and stuff like that.
You guys could obviously tell tonight, man, that a lot of the fans here really embraced you guys tonight. You guys are a European band, and I was telling Carrie earlier, I said, it's really hard sometimes, I think, for European bands to come to the States and do well. You guys are doing very well. Can you explain maybe a little bit about what the reception has been towards MESHUGGAH since you've been playing here in the States?
It's been awesome. We did 4 shows in July, and we didn't expect anything. We had, a 3-year-old record, and we felt like, no. And we were in the middle of recording Chaos Fair and felt like we don't want to, break up the recording to go to these shows.
To do the Metal Fest, right?
Yeah, and 3 other shows, but we did. And we're really happy that we did, because it was awesome. We didn't expect anything, and we came here and the crowd was like crazy.
Cool.
So
Cool.
we didn't understand shit.
Cool. Let's get a little technical. Let's talk about the latest release, Chaos Fear.
Okay.
Definitely, I think this record is a little bit heavier and in your face more than the Destroy, Erase, Improve record. Can you compare the music a little bit, maybe what happened to the band to that time?
Definitely. There are some major things that we changed from Destroy, Erase, Improve to Chaos Fair. One of the things is we dropped like all the calm guitar parts and all that took it down, kind of broke down the song and made it calm, and we had a kind of a jazzy thing going on Destroy, Erase, Improve as well, and most of that is gone, and all the calm parts are gone. We had one calm song, a complete song on the album Chaos Fair initially that we actually took away, because we felt like, what are we doing? I mean, here we have a record that's like a straight line, it's like in your face all the time, and then there's this breathing pause, and so we just took it away. I mean, it's just an 8-title CD, but we had 9, but we figured, we'd rather take that one away than just have it like a straight line and everything in your face, like all the time.
I take it that's where the title of the record, Chaos Fear, came from, huh?
Yeah, that and the way it was done, actually, because beginning of '98, we had like quite a lot of material, complete songs and like half-finished songs and a lot of stuff, but we sat down and like listened everything through, and we just, it didn't feel right. We just threw everything away and just started from scratch, like in January, February '98, and we were scheduled for the studio in May, so we had like 5 months, so everything was basically written in 5 months' time.
Wow.
So we were under, like great stress under these months, which is also what kind of formed the whole thing and became the title of Chaos Fair, because the whole period was very chaotic, also in the studio with everything,
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have always been on Nuclear Blast Records?
Yeah, we have. The first, the mini LP was released on a local record company, but was not a record deal. Just releasing 1,500 copies.
Tell me a little bit about how that record label's been treating you, man, because Nuclear Blast is, the USA division of Nuclear Blast is becoming well known. The name is being circulated a lot in the metal scenes, and you guys are doing well, so I guess they know that there is a market for MESHUGGAH in the States.
Yeah, it's just if the last 2 years that we've been, working close together with Nuclear Blast Americas. I don't want to talk shit about Nuclear Blast, but I mean, the head office in Germany, they are,
Their German label.
yeah, so they are really into, the regular heavy metal style, and we felt, a bit outside all of the other bands there, so we've had a hard time there, but they've been really nice to us, though. Mark is the boss yeah, he really likes us, and he's been good.
You guys are on your first American tour right now, and you guys are opening up for Sick of It All, unfortunately, who's not here tonight, but Slayer as well. There's bands out there that would kill for that opening slot. How do you guys feel about opening up a good gig where you're going to get tons and tons of exposure?
I mean, right now, it feels just, going on tour with any band, but right, like the night I got an email, it said it's official, you're going on tour, opening for Slayer. I had just stupid grin on my face all night. It was just, I couldn't get my lips down. It's like,
I would have said, let's party!
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, it's one of, if not the greatest band to be out with,
Right.
for a band like us.
Hell yeah.
So if you've done this, I mean, it's going to get us a lot of credit, and, it's going to also probably raise raise the salaries a bit.
Yeah. Have those guys been treating you all right on the tour?
Yeah.
Good.
We haven't talked to them just a bit today, but everybody in the crew and just
Cool.
everybody is really nice to us. So
We mentioned that this was the first tour, but this isn't the first time you've played the States. We mentioned earlier you did Metal Fest, and then you've done some gigs on the East Coast. So you guys have a pretty good feel for what the fans are like in the States. How would you compare the fans in the States to the fans in Europe? Metal fans.
for us, totally different. Europe is really, up and down, but they're nothing compared to the crowds here, I think. At least for us, it's been really good.
You guys are on tour right now. What does the rest of '99 hold for you?
After this tour, this is like a 7-week tour, ending within the first 2 weeks of May, and then we're doing the Dynamo in Holland at the end of May, and then we'll see. There are some unconfirmed like bigger festivals in Europe later this summer, and other than that, we haven't. There's nothing more scheduled than that right now.
Do you guys write on the road, or do you wait till you come off tour and write music?
Off tour, we can't do anything here.
Too damn busy and crazy, right?
No, it's the way we do music. We don't make anything, in our rehearsal studio. We make everything at home, separately on the computer, and then we meet up and try it out.
When can fans expect a new release for MESHUGGAH?
I don't know. When it calms down, I guess.
All right. Right, I think right now is a great time for metal, especially in the States. I mean, I know in Europe, metal has maintained its awareness out in the scene, but here in the States it kind of faded, and I think right now it's really coming back. A lot of people would say that MESHUGGAH is one of those bands that's helping bring metal back. But in your opinion, what kind of bands do you see right now making an impact in the metal scene?
I think still a lot of the black metal bands are still, doing very well in Europe, and also, but there's also this like old school thing going, and with like Iron Maiden type, the older stuff, which is like it's cheesy actually, but I mean, it's okay with me, but. As Jen said earlier, for a band like us, it's more ups and downs because the crowds there are more diehard into they're more into compartments like that, and here in the States you can see a lot more of the crossover crowds. You get people from the hardcore scene, and you get people from the metal scene, and kind of mixed together. You can see that quite a lot, especially on the gigs that we did in the East Coast earlier this year. There's a lot of that, so which is really cool.
Cool.
Definitely. And also, I think about the whole metal scene, and of course, I don't know that much about the States, but for us, it's also been the change of the Nuclear Blast American office has helped us a lot, and I think a lot of other bands as well, because it was just 2 guys down in Florida like just a couple of years ago. Now they have like a lot bigger staff, like a huge staff, and they got, you know, a great place where the office is at, and everything's a lot more organized and everything. So they actually, I think they turned like, you know, 300% like from the year before, you know, when they started out with this stuff. So I think that we have a lot to thank them for as well. Definitely.
That's great, man, and that's all good for all of our scene. I want to thank you guys for taking the time for the fans of San Antonio, man, who want to know about Meshuggah. Remember, San Antonio, the new one is out. It's called Chaos Sphere on Nuclear Blast Records. This is Rob for the MetalWorks. We'll see you next week, and remember, Meshuggah fucking kills on Rob's MetalWorks.